Hey guys, this is John from WalkThroughCode. So in this video we are going to talk about fetch, which is an XHR request library, basically an HTTP request library that's built into Chrome and various other stuff. That said, it's much easier to use than just the regular XHR requests, which in my opinion are very clunky, and you don't have to create a new instance of it every time, and it's just a thing anyway. So let's talk about fetch. So it's actually really easy to use. I'm just going to include my script file. We're not going to do anything too crazy. We're just going to get a list of posts from this JSON type of code website that I use. Yeah, JSON placeholder.typeofcode.com. Super easy to use for just simple GET requests, post requests, things like that. And we can just hit this API. It's completely free. It's it's really easy to use. You don't have to make an account either, which is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my script file. I have not included any extra libraries, right? I don't have jQuery, I don't have Bootstrap, I don't have anything like that, right? Like I don't need any of that for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write fetch, and then the first parameter that it takes is the URL. And actually, when we're making a GET request, if there's no special configuration going on, this is actually all we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss this. Actually, you know what? I don't want to. I'm just going to get this and then throw that in there. And then we're going to say /posts. Or maybe we'll get users. We'll get users. There's only 10. Users. Okay, and so now that's going to return us a promise. We actually have to deal with that promise. So what we need to do is say .then, and then we're going to give it a callback function, if I can spell. This function will be the response, so we're going to say the response. And because we want to turn this into JSON, we're going to use a method that's attached to this response object called JSON. This method is asynchronous. It looks a little like this. And basically what it does is it parses the body of the response into a readable JSON object. Specifically, I mean, it's a JS object, but that's what they call it. And so there's two ways that we can do this. We can actually just put a .then in here. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think it's just cleaner if we return this, and then we'll have another .then. What is my deal? Function. Here we're going to have the data that we're looking for. So what we're going to do is we're going to console.log the data, and then we're going to take a look at said data. I'm going to just I'm just going to open index.html, and then I'm going to pull up the console. Take a look. Awesome. So I have an array of 10 users. How easy was that, right? Like, it's really not that difficult. So, like, full disclosure, I've seen a number, comparatively to Axios. Axios has a lot of really cool stuff built in. If you don't know what Axios is, it's a third-party XHR request, like HTTP request library. It's also really easy to use. It's very commonly used in libraries like Vue and React. But for this particular situation, that extra method, it actually grants us a lot of extra control if that's something that you need. In our case, though, really all we need is this particular data right here. So yeah, super easy to use for the GET requests. Let's comment that out. All of this code is going to be in the link in the description below in a GitHub repo, and so you'll have access to it, and it'll be easy. So I want to show you guys how Google has it all set up here. So basically, we have to give it a URL, and then we have to give it kind of like a config object with various things. In our case, we actually don't need the header. But we do need to stringify any object that we have, which is a thing, but it's not. I mean, we just use the JSON.stringify method, and it's really not that big of a deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say fetch. Spelling is interesting. So we're going to go here, we're going to make a post request to /user, so I'm actually going to just steal this. Actually, I'm going to steal this. And then I'm going to have a configuration object. This config object is going to have a method. How about we just, if you can even see that. Whoa, that's really big. Maybe that's a little too big. I'll post this URL too in the description. Maybe that's a little easier to read. Let's get rid of this, just so we don't have to keep clicking back and forth. Okay, so we have our URL. All we need now is the method. The method is going to be post. We don't need any special kind of headers, more likely than not, but we'll, I have been stood corrected many times. This JSON placeholder thing, it expects I'm pretty sure it expects at least like a name, a user. You know what? That's too much. Let's just for brevity of it, let's just add to post. Post, all it requires is a title and a body. It'll assign the ID and just a user ID of 1 out of the box. So we're gonna say, body, and actually just to kind of make it marginally cleaner, let's say let I don't know, new post equal. Oh, you see the pun in here? That's kind of funny anyway. So we're going to make a new post, and it's going to have a title of hello world, and then the body will be something like that's really something. And then what we'll do is we will JSON.stringify new post. And what we will expect in response is just an object that looks like this. So fingers crossed this works. Let's say .then. How about we make it a little prettier. .then. Then we need a function. This function is going to have a response, and then we're going to have we're going to say return response.json. Then we're going to say .then function. We'll say data console.log post request response data, and then we'll say data, and then we will see what happens. Okay, it literally just gave us an ID, but I feel like that means that it didn't fail. So I'm okay with that, kind of. Okay. it didn't give us any errors, so I'm actually okay with it, and the fact that it just responded like this is okay. Anyway, so yeah, I mean that's really all fetch is. It's not really that difficult. It's pretty straightforward. This whole middle layer, mixed feelings. It's cool that you have a little bit of extra control over it, but I think that like in libraries like Axios and Super, I think it's called Super Agent or something like that. That whole extra layer is abstracted away. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any comments or questions, anything like that, totally leave them in the comment section below. If you guys wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe. I love making videos for you guys, so it just encourages me to keep making videos. Other than that, I hope you guys had a great week and a great weekend and whatever day you're watching this. I hope it was great. Anyway, take care. Thanks again.